These Rhinos down here at the Willows, and the great support from their fans in numbers swelling the crowd here today. Do you want to run through this team first of all? Go through the Leeds team.
I'll go through the Leeds team for you, Steve. It's at number full-back is Damien Gibson, who wears 5. Paul Sterling, Richie Blackmore, Phil Hassan and Francis Cummins are 3/4. The halves are Yestin Harris and Graham Holroyd. And the forwards, Martin Masella, Wayne Collins should I say, Barry McDermott, Adrian Morley, Anthony Farrell and Gary Mercer. And the substitutes are Marcus Sindelay, Ryan Sheridan, Jamie Matthew and Terry Newton. Well, Steve, I think that it's very much a case of into the Salford Reds' den, because Salford are playing really well at home.
Yeah, that's right, and they started off their season with 6 of their first 9 games at home, which gives them an advantage. They've taken advantage in terms of the results, and let me quickly run through the Salford team today. One young man in the centre of the field, Mark Jones. Look at the size of him already. A rugby player in the making, no doubt, still only 11 and the mascot for today. Have a great day, Mark. The Salford team for the day, full strength in effect. Fireworks as well. Gary Broadbent at full-back, and in the 3/4, Fatasini, Scott Naylor, Nathan McAvoy and Darren Rogers. Half-back, Steve Blakely and Ian Watson in the forwards. Andy Platt, Peter Edwards, Cliff Eccles. Peter Edwards and Cliff Eccles. So many games consecutively from them. Paul Thorber, Assini Faimalo and David Human. Substitutes today, Craig Randall, Scott Martin, Makini Savilio and Paul Southern. Tough opposition from the Leeds Rhinos without any shadow of doubt. And one man in particular in Leeds Rhinos, a Salford lad, Adrian Morley. Well, he's got 2 mates in the Salford Reds team, Ian Watson and Nat McAvoy. Perhaps a bit of needle between those two, eh?
Could be, and it's Adrian Morley's birthday today. He's 20 today, so he's looking forward, obviously, to a big game. And ball down into the Salford half, Assini Faimalo running the ball back.
And that's rugby league these days. The toss of the coin is made before the players come onto the pitch, so they've already decided which way they're going to play, and they're out, and they're playing immediately at full pelt at great pace already. And in this first set of 6, it's the Leeds Rhinos tacklers that are so far keeping the Salford Reds inside their own territory as we get to the 5th one. Ian Watson with time and space, kicks, but sits nicely for Sterling.
Paul Sterling will run that ball back. Nice little chip over from Ian Watson, but it sat up really well there for Paul Sterling. Holroyd's at dummy half, finds Mercer. Mercer will look to make progress into the Salford Reds territorial half of the field. He's just in there. And now it's the turn of Martin Masella to try and make the extra hard yards, and that's good driving from Masella, made a good 10 metres there. Collins finds Holroyd. Holroyd will look to bring the ball back to Harris. What a bit of magic from him would do this afternoon. And that man there, Adrian Morley, as I said, it's his birthday. He'll be looking for the big game. Never played at the Willows before, he says. So he's looking forward to a big game against his friends. All his family will be here today, so it's a big day for him. Collins then goes himself from dummy half, spots a bit of a gap there. Dummies himself going up towards that Salford line. Just pulled down short, and again the last tackle, nearly a try there for Leeds. And brought the dummy off Wayne Collins. Blackmore, has he got the pace to go through himself? No, but Sterling's in at the corner, is he? I think he's in over in the corner. Yes, that's a try to Leeds, taking full advantage there of Richie Blackmore slipping the ball out. And the referee and the touch judge over on that corner saying that it was sufficiently in the ball touchdown before the flag went down. Looked a close call, Steve.
Oh, crumbs, yeah, no, it's good penetration from Leeds, from number 9, certainly finding the opening, and Salford doing well to stop him scoring, but the ball, not a good pass out to Sterling, but it sat nicely for him. And we'll have to look at that again on the video. As he went over, did he touch the flag first or not? The touch judge was in front, and the referee was there. They both said it was a fair try, and just the start that Leeds wanted.
Yes, great try, good start for Leeds, and all came from about before the Salford Reds buying the dummy from Wayne Collins, and forced the Salford to be kicking, and the kick only just making the Leeds half stick.
Yeah, yep, so Leeds certainly having a better his opening 3 minutes. Some powerful rugby league players amongst this Leeds Rhinos squad. Paul Sterling scored that try. He's arrived from Hull in the close season. Richard Blackmore, Francis, Yestin Harris recovering to his full fitness, full match fitness very quickly and impressing. Barry McDermott, so many good players in the Leeds Rhinos squad. It's going to be a real test of character for Salford, as that one's hanging and hanging and hanging, and only just drifting wide at the very last minute. So the dream start for the Leeds Rhinos and Salford. Well, it sometimes happens. Both these. No, Salford have had a fortnight off. Leeds Rhinos had a game on Monday. Salford, with that extra week's rest, it sometimes takes time to pick up the momentum, particularly when in the mind you know you've had such a good win against the Wigan Warriors. And so we'll see if Salford can lift their game, as they will have to now. So Salford having to work hard to make ground up the middle that time, but unable to because the tacklers from the Rhinos keeping them still inside their own half. But in this set of plays, Salford made slightly more ground just to the halfway line as we get to the 6. So it's going to Watson for the kick again, taking his time with it, this time making ground over the head of Sterling and finding a good touch on the 20. A good tackling 6, good fierce tackling 6 though from the Rhinos. Just be pleased with that one.
Yes, very much so. That was showing the mettle there, and again Watson having to kick from inside his own territory. Better kick this time, finds a touch on the 20 metres. And Paul Sterling just allowed that ball to go. And interestingly, the try scorer Sterling has scored a try in his last 6 appearances for Leeds. He's certainly come good since he came from Hull. Mercer then brings the ball away from the base of the scrum, but that man David Hume in quickly there to knock him down with Steve Blakely. Morley again going forward. Collins just one step and then gives the ball to Anthony Farrell. Anthony Farrell improved considerably since he came to Leeds. I think the fact that he's now full-time training for the first time in his career has made a big difference. McDermott, and Leeds will be looking for him to make their hard yards up the middle. Harris again, spots a gap from dummy half, goes himself, looks to break through there, gets the ball away. Knocked down by Martin Masella and Salford in possession, so Leeds' first mistake of the game.
Yeah, but it's not really a mistake, it was Leeds probing and making the half opening then, and if that pass had gone to hand, there was a real prospect of another try there. And Sini with his first run. 3 men to bring him down. Salford not having a good line. But the referee, Mr. Campbell, saying that everybody was offside. And saying, Steve Blakely, you can't get on with it like that. So Ian Watson with the kick, with the touch, and Salford in possession inside the Leeds Rhinos half for the first time. Super League so competitive. Andy Flat and Salford in the 20, the Leeds Rhinos 20 in possession. First time this game. Now where are the runners? Carmilo's there. He's still on his feet, still trying to go forward, and that's what fans love to see, determination. Carmilo having a real good season. Now there's a jab over the far side if it can go. Goes to Naylor. Naylor straightens up. Back inside to McAvoy. McAvoy did well to take it. Sterling running from Salford. But an injury down there looks quite serious. Good play, that good attacking rugby. You sometimes forget that it's rained so much the way they're throwing this ball around, but good defence from the Rhinos again. Yes,
good defence, but great attacking play, and one player I'm particularly impressed with him. Delighted to see playing so well as Yassini Farmalo. Had a terrible eye injury when he was at Leeds, and I know how gutted he was, Steve, with that one. And it's nice to see him back and playing so well. And I think it's McAvoy that's been injured there in the skirmish. Just put the ball through. It was a bit of an hospital pass, I think, for him. He was taking the man as he took the ball, but he took it really well. And another player who you must be delighted with and the way he's come through.
Oh, absolutely. It was actually Steve Blakely, but no matter, it's Salford after that great attack, still looking to go in, and Cliff Eccles is over the line, but drops the ball just when. So Salford with their first attack, perhaps a let off the Leeds, but perhaps one of those situations that really could change a game. Leeds scored with theirs and Salford haven't. Good play from Salford, but that defence from Leeds hanging on till the end.
Yes, and knocked the ball down there over the line. That was it's a penalty to Leeds. The Salford Reds crowd not happy with that, but the touch judge was straight away waving that the Masella had been interfered with as he got up to play the football. And so Leeds chance to clear their ranks, and I'm sure they'll be pleased to get away from that try line. And Barry McDermott will run and make the hard yards up the middle of the field. Still going, that's good running from McDermott. Tremendous running there, 20 metres in possession of the football. Collins will find Allroyd, and Allroyd will look to spread this ball. He's running up to the line closely now, drops off for Faddle. Faddle just tackled again 30 metres from that Salford line as Collins from dummy half finds Allroyd again. He's certainly acting as a playmaker this afternoon to get through, finds Hassan, and a very similar move to the one that McAvoy got there. Hassan and the ball arrived, the tackle and the ball arrived at the same time. Yestin Harris just running across the field of play, finds Mercer. Mercer Leeds running the angles this afternoon, get rid of that football. That's good play again from Anthony Faddle, up to the 20 metres now. Leeds with at least a couple of tackles left to go. And Collins will find Harris again. Harris puts a little grubber kick through for the corner. Darren Rodgers is chasing, and he takes the ball well there. Well read the play, Darren Rodgers there.
Yeah, it's a good save from him, but Leeds really looking very, very sharp, aren't they? And certainly the Salford contingent not very happy with that tackle at all. But Leeds, I mean, we're just saying there that this morning it's been raining and the pitch must be a bit wet on top, but the handling in these opening minutes has been superb from both teams. Leeds had a game on Monday night and had an excellent victory against Paris Saint-Germain. This is as close as I can get to a French accent. And certainly have made a lively start today, including the try, as David Hume tries to find a way through, but the Leeds defence just tackling everything at the moment. Good line for Salford. Oh, good in. Oh, surely another. Oh, the referee says that was shoulder, and they're the two buddies, I think. Good long pass out to Rodgers. Rodgers with a little kick through and a chase. Oh! Goes to Sterling, and now if Sterling gets in the clear, all of a sudden there's something for Leeds. Enterprising play. Looks as though Rodgers could have picked it up, and the line of begging. Exciting opening the stage, isn't it? Hey, 4-0 to Leeds.
Tremendous exciting stuff there, and I thought that Rodgers made the mistake there. The ball bounced twice for him to kick on, and he could have picked the ball up. But Sterling had it for Leeds and was quickly into his stride, and now it's Harris coming up towards halfway. Looks to pop that ball up to Phil Hassan. Hassan's got his hammer down as a roll and just tips up there. Good last-ditch tackling because Phil Hassan was away. Gets up now and plays the ball, finds Harris again. Harris, and Leeds certainly buzzing lively in these opening stages. Collins up to dummy half. Will find Graham Allroyd. Allroyd's ball's for Faddle. Faddle just had to check, there was a gap there. Finds the ball back to Allroyd, and Allroyd well wrapped up. That's good defence from Salford now. They've spotted the danger and they've done the right thing in stopping it. That's Masella. Masella gets the ball away. That's Sterling again. Sterling in for the corner. Oh, and a great, again, just a pull of his ankles as he went skying through there. Back to Harris. The ball misses Harris, in fact, and it's picked up by Allroyd. Allroyd's kick is really a nothing sort of a kick. I couldn't make my mind up whether it was a drop goal or a kick through.
I think it was the drop goal. They let it bounce first in, but you're right. And perhaps a let off for Salford, because Salford was certainly stretched and thin on defence on the Salford right, and Leeds playing this game at tremendous pace on attack and in defence. And Salford did well not to concede another try in that attack from Leeds, in my judgment. Last-ditch tackling from Salford being absolutely necessary. And there's a drop ball that the referee has decided. Well, I thought for a minute that was going to be a scrum down. Penalty going Salford's way. And Salford, having been on the rack on defence, within a minute find themselves in possession and on the Leeds Rhinos 20. Forber got a knock before and just taking time to get back in position, getting his second win, getting his breath back. How can Salford convert this particular possession? Scott Naylor, forceful, strong centre, but Leeds hanging on to him. They need to. Sini, well, tries to go on his own. So close to the line. Little kick from Watson, and it bounces again. Oh, and Watson, well, Watson was following it up, and the bounce, well, very, very kindly, the ricochet off a Leeds foot really has brought Salford right back into it. I was just thinking that ball should have gone along the line, or if the kick, perhaps the long kick to the corner. Watson did it inside, the ricochet off a Leeds foot, bounced nicely for Watson, following it up, and Watson scores a try for Salford that brings them back into it 4-all. When in this first period of play, it's Leeds Rhinos that have had, in many ways, the better of it, although Salford have had the one chance, one try each, 13 minutes gone of non-stop entertainment.
Tremendous game, and Adrian Morley just stuck out a foot there, and the ball ricocheting off, and completely wrong-footed the rest of the Leeds defence, who were expecting the kick to go in one direction. In fact, Morley would have probably been better to leave the football alone. However, it's very easy from up here in the stand, and I'm sure that still living in Eccles, he won't want to be going home tonight if that's a try that costs Leeds the game. And we'll see Steve Blakely, and he doesn't miss. I remember a long time ago at Headingley, you telling me, Steve, that Steve Blakely hadn't missed in his first few games for Salford. He missed a few that day, but I bet he doesn't miss this one. Certainly doesn't, and Salford are in the lead. Leeds 4, Salford 6. You can't really argue with that because the kick came through. It wasn't the last tackle, and Ian Watson took full advantage. Good player, Ian Watson. The player that was interested in Leeds before he signed for Salford. It's going to be Blakely to kick off the game, but Leeds have really got to put that to the back of their mind. They've been playing some attractive football and some good support play, and just get on with the game and not let it worry them by the fact that they've conceded a try. And Damien Gibson brings Adrian Morley back. It'll be even more determined Adrian Morley. He'll be looking to make amends for his sticking his boot to that ball. Wayne Collins just goes from dummy half, makes a good 7 or 8 metres before he's brought down. And who's in at the tackle? David Hume. Just who you'd expect to be in the tackle. McDermott again, pushing his way forward. 10 metres inside the Leeds half, right in front of our commentary position. Harris splits the gap, goes himself. It's up, not tackle, says the referee. Finds Damien Gibson stepping, dancing, trying to get the ball away, can't do that. So Leeds have gone from 10 metres inside their own half to 10 metres inside the Salford. As Gary Mercer looking to push play out on that far side. Blackmore now, has he got the space and the legs to go? It's the ball back to Marcella. Marcella has to take the tackle. Andy Platt complaining about something. And Harris puts the cross kick to the corner. That's going to go many a mile into the stand. The wind obviously catching that one, Steve.
Yeah, and if we wonder which way the wind was blowing, I think that certainly gives us the answer. But Leeds again, really. Yestin Harris so prominent in that attack, and it is good to see that Leeds have got proper numbers on this year. It really is. But really, Harris back to his best, proving so elusive. Seen with the first one, Eccles with the second, surging run to clear the Salford line. And David Hume with the next one, and the pass, creating the opportunity. Naylor still won't be put down. Andy Platt will be. Salford threatening but not breaking through. Blakely, no way for him. So it's Watson with the kick. Everybody says it's all on, but that's going to have time. Good chase from Rodgers. Oh, but a great turn.
That's class play from Damien Gibson there. Just spun in a tackle, and Rodgers in the cover. It was number 18. Watson had him lined up, and he just spun away the other way and took away. Now it's Paul Sterling coming away from dummy half, looking for a way through. There's no way through Andy Platt, as many people have found over the years. And Sterling just the latest in that line. Marcella now, that's to make the hard yards up the middle. Does just that, beats out of 2, almost 3 tackles. The fist comes in there from David Hume. McDermott, balls for Faddle. Faddle dodging, stopping at the line. That's the ball pulled out there. The referee says it's okay. Padacini's got it now. And Faddle just lost the football there.
Yeah, so gives Salford a chance to recover, but Leeds still probing with every single player. Salford are trying to now. Find Marlowe up in support. Good line from Salford. Blakely looking for many support, but not able to get into a stride before he's put down. Cliff Eccles going forward on his own. Andy Platt on his own, pass on though to David Hume. David Hume drops it, but Assini makes it his, and all of a sudden he's in his stride and running from nothing and running, and surely a stop just within inches of that line. Great surge from Assini when there was nothing on. Goes back to Watson, long pass out to Rodgers, takes it, comes inside, holds on to it, Broadbent's in support, more support. Watson there, holds on Rodgers to Forber, and that is a classic, absolute classic rugby league try. It looked as though they had 3 opportunities to score it, but the Leeds Rhinos defence was over in covering in great numbers. Right from that scenic surge under the post, the ball went along the line. Great rugby league thinking from the Salford players, keeping the ball moving, and in the end Forber in that unaccustomed left wing position. 3 sharp passes at the end of the move created the opening, and the last pass from Rodgers onto Forber gave him the room to go in and score a try for Salford. That was a cracker.
So we're watching now as Blakely gets the ball underway again. The game's underway. That ball spinning in the breeze. Holroyd's underneath. Finds Morley to run the ball out. And good running there from Adrian Morley. 30 metres from his own line with that run. That's good running. Collins takes the play on from dummy half. Mercer for Masella. Masella looking to power his way forward. Leeds very impressive in the front 3, making a lot of ground. All right, now will he be looking to short ball it? Just tripped over his own feet there. He dummied. Probably still a little bit wet underfoot. The sun's come out now, but it's got Justin Harris running with the football across the field, looking for a way through. Gets the ball away to Blackmore. The space there for Blackmore. Great defence from Darren Rodgers. And now Harris puts up the high kick. Cummins is onside, says the referee. Seen he's underneath it. He's lost the football. In fact, the referee says he didn't lose the football. What a strange decision, Steve.
Well, it looked as though certainly it was on the floor, but it dropped it, and whether the fact that his body position made it look as though it kind of, but you're absolutely right, that should have been a knock-on. As it was, we'll have to credit him with a great take, because it rescued a very, very difficult situation for Salford, because and there's a good pass on in the tackle. McAvoy trying to find some space, and he does find space, but not clear running room. Doing well, and Salford, from under that enormous amount of pressure, Leeds Rhinos looking so good as they go forward. Seamy rescued the situation. He's struggling a bit with an injury down this side, and Salford have been able to come back into attack. Forber looking for support. But Salford just a bit slow at that stage, and Edwards sensibly in the end hanging on because there was nobody there to take a pass, and so it's Steve Blakely with the kick, which has to be played, and Leeds in possession.
With Damien Gibson, he's got men outside him. He's going to take Scott Naylor on the outside. Drops up inside for Cummins. Cummins steps inside. Watson steps inside Eccles, but not totally. Eccles bringing him down. Good return from Damien Gibson and Cummins. And Philisan in the middle of the field now. Certainly the most improved player on Leeds books this season, Philisan. Having a tremendous season. Now it's Mercer's turn to run out wide. He's running at Darren Rodgers. Up to halfway. Sterling then. We'll go from dummy half, will he? Yes, he will have a run, and why not? Because when you've got the pace of Paul Sterling, it's just a little gap can make you a try scorer. Holroyd finds Harris again, looks for the run around. Harris goes himself, looks to pop through the gap. Holroyd's in support, but Harris had the ball in, carrying wrongly to use Holroyd then. Masella just looking to charge forward, running across, looks for a gap in the defence up to the last tackle now. So what will Leeds do here? They've lost the impetus on the attacks, lately. Holroyd. It's a little grubber kick through. That's picked up by Harris, and there's a gap now as Harris looks to exploit it. Plus a crossfield kick for the corner. That's going to go dead. Far too far for Paul Sterling. Again, the wing caught that, but Holroyd's kick was charged down, and suddenly there was a big gap, Steve.
Yeah, there was, and again, it was Leeds finding those gaps, but at the end, the Salford defence is hanging on to them, keeping them in that attack outside the 20, and Leeds having to resort to the kick on the last tackle. They had 2 chances, but both of them, perhaps this wind is having a bigger impact than we might have thought. The Salford, in comparison, sometimes seem to be a little bit standing still as they were then, but for all that, they're making good ground forward. Oh, a crunching hit that was. Adrian Morley on David Hume, he shrugs it off. Now good line from Salford, good hands across there. McAvoy looking for an opening, so nearly finding it. So Forber takes it from them, and Gary Broadbent up in attack. Makes a few yards forward, it's the last one. Edwards puts it to play to Watson. Watson with a kick through, hits Leeds, player. All right, says the referee, and immediately Leeds back in possession.
That's it, Gary Mercer. Mercer picked it up on the bounce, and Masella was checked in possession of the football Andy Platt, dangerous pass from Mercer, but came off all right for Leeds. Morley now. Hammering his way through. David Hume, who've set themselves up into some personal little battle. It's a penalty, and it's David Hume who's been holding the back of the head. But I think David Hume and Adrian Morley just having a little personal battle in there. Adrian Morley certainly set himself up to give a few big hits on David Hume, but that won't bother David Hume. He said certainly big hits in his career. Marcella runs straight through. David Hume can certainly take and give. Plenty of stick on the rugby field. Gibson comes into the line, running off Yasin Harris. Mercer's in at dummy half now. Blackmore looking to stretch his way forward. He can't get the ball away either, but he's on the 20 metres, so Leeds have a good chance now. Cummins wants the ball over on our side. Harris finds Holroyd. Short ball there for Philisan, looping round the back. Inside for drop-off for Cummins. Hume brings him down, good defence, and Hume guilty of holding down again there. And we saw when he was at Leeds, his ability to do that sometimes cost his side dearly in terms of sin binning. Harris now. Is he going to put the crossfield kick across? He does indeed. That's for Sterling. Oh, what a class try again from Yasin Harris and Paul Sterling combination. That's a great try. Everyone on side there. The Salford fans don't like it, but I suppose any fans don't like it when a kick like that goes across, because you always think that the person must be offside, but Leeds have practised that kick and it's worked 2 or 3 times this season.
Yeah, the running was perhaps no more than 10 metres while the flight was in the air. Rogers waved his arm at it and didn't make contact with the ball, and Sterling was there to score his second try, 10-8. And a sad sight for Salford fans is that in the previous attack, Scott Naylor received a knock on his knee by the looks of things, making a tackle. He didn't take any part in that last Leeds 6, and so it's going to be always a sad sight to see the players going off injured, but Scott Naylor looks in some considerable pain, having to hobble off, so that's going to be a sad blow for Salford as Scott Martin comes on to take his place in the centre. Harris is at the centre of everything, isn't he? He's involved so much in the play.
I think that when the Leeds players get used to Yasin Harris, it's still only 3 or 4 games since he made his debut. The way he runs is totally different to anything we've had at Leeds for a while. I think it'll be a big asset to Leeds.
Yes. Yeah, it's got to be that. Oh, Scott Naylor just perhaps in picture at the minute, hobbling off. Tough guy, Scott Naylor. Okay, so that one struck well. And I think the ironic jeers from the Salford fans told us that wasn't going through the sticks. But what, we got 27 minutes. Applause for Scott Naylor, his efforts well appreciated by the Salford fans as Leeds get it off, get the ball back in play so quickly and make such a good chase. Oh, pass in the first play. Salford looking to move it. Broadbent though, tackled well. David Hume. Salford line a bit thin on that side, but nonetheless David Hume takes it. Clears his 20, 10 metres out as Scott Naylor looks as though he's going to the dressing room. Cliff Eccles tries to find a way forward. Paul Forber doing the same and still running. Oh, great surge from Paul Forber under enormous tackling pressure. Oh, and Fatasini being penalised for trying to encourage the play ball. Over enthusiasm, perhaps a bit harsh, but all of a sudden, instead of being on the attack, Salford on the defence.
Yes, and Leeds will be grateful for that penalty. Great run from Paul Forber. And let's see what Barry McDermott can do. He can run into 3 tacklers and be brought down after about 7 or 8 metres. That's good play from him, and a good play from Marcella now driving forward. Looks to stand Andy Platt up and steps to his side, but the cover coming across. And David Hume again, that's 2 tackles on the trot from him. He's a great player. Harris. Wrapped up and knocked down there, and the Leeds contingent complaining about the force of the tackle. And Morley nowhere to go, and Leeds not getting that attack right now. They want to see more of Wayne Collins at acting half-back. Here he goes himself now, just trying to show the dummy again. Now it's out to Harris. Harris steps again. It's a ball back to Holroyd, and another crossfield kick there is for Cummins. and just in touch, Francis Cummins, as he got the ball down. But the referee this time has given Cummins offside.
Yeah. Another one of those difficult situations into instant judgment. But yet again, Salford tackling so good, keeping Leeds out. When even the free-flowing rugby that we're seeing from Leeds, Salford keeping them at bay. Oh, there's a poor kick, and Leeds back again.
That's poor penalty there, poor option. Really, you can't afford to do that at Super League level now, with the games being so competitive and close. You've got to find touch. Better to get a shorter distance. Mercer steps through one, can't get through the other. Great defence there from 23. Oh, was it Assini Faimalo? Harris. Oh, the ball bouncing off a Leeds player's shoulder. Somebody should have been a dummy runner there, and Justin Harris just having a complaint about that.
But he's there doing it again. Andy Platt surging forward. Faimalo, good ground from him. Has to hold on to the ball. His ball wrapped up by the tackle. Blakely's in the line. Watson's there. Pass on to Sini. Runs straight and true. Stays in play just right in front of us. Watson this time with the kick. Goes to ground, played. Play on. Harris is there.
Harris is bringing the ball back for Leeds, running across the face of his post. Finds Damien Gibson. Is very difficult to tackle. Is Justin Harris. And Damien Gibson just pull around the neck there. Still has to take the tackle. Collins then looking to bring Blackmore on the burst, and Blackmore will be wanting to make ground. Holroyd drops off inside there for... Oh, good football from Leeds. And now there's it for Leeds. 6 more tackles there. And that ball came off a Salford player. A kick there. And certainly didn't see one from up here. Well, Steve Ramsbottom, the Salford commentator, just confirming that Fatasini put his boot to the ball. And Barry McDermott can just take the tackle now, knowing Leeds have 3-4 maybe tackles to go in this set of 6. Holroyd looks for the run around with Harris and finds Blackmore off to Sterling. Sterling out front of Gibson to Sterling. Sterling cuts back in field. And Leeds looking to lead Salford a muddy dance, and that's good driving there from Sterling. Takes play back into the middle of the field, and Collins this time for Harris. Harris inside balls for Masella. Masella spins out of one tackle and another. Runs to the full-back Broadbent, and it's up to the last tackle now. So what will Leeds do here? Harris has got the football in his hands. Runs it, finds Holroyd. Holroyd puts a little rubber kick through.
So the Leeds pressure produced 2 tries for them, but Salford defensively really performing so well. No more so than that man Faimalo. Great surging runs from him. He'll be wanting to show his old club that he's still a force in rugby league. Little switch up, forward pass, knock on. A little bit of disappointment. Then that's been a substitute change there. It's Sevilio who's come on, I think, in place of Andy Platt. And Salford will look back on that sort of incident where it's a totally unforced error. Gives the initiative back to Leeds.
Yes, Sevilio there caught the full force of Barry McDermott as he dropped the football as well, so we won't be too pleased about that. So Leeds, their second scrum of the game. And Holroyd running away. Oh, puts a hammer down now as he got the legs. Fatasini's chasing him. Fatasini surely will have the legs on Graham Holroyd. He has. But a great run there from the scrum half. Harris in at dummy half, goes himself. Dummy into no one because there's no one there. Gibson finally comes up. Cummins is inside now. Good ball from Gibson to Cummins, who stayed on his wing. A great break there from Holroyd. Through the dummy and went himself. Now it's Martin Masella. And Leeds in that Salford 20 metres out. They'd like a try just before half-time. Mercer goes on that short side. Gets the ball back to Sterling. Sterling will have to come in field. Gets the ball back to Masella. Masella running forward now, and that's good play from Leeds. 10 metres from that Salford line. Collins just to Harris. Harris in the centre of the field, running the gap now. Finds McDermott. McDermott charging forward. Last tackle there, and that's Harris in for the try, is he? Yes, that's in for the try. Justin Harris. In goal touch just says that's a try. And it is indeed from Iestyn Harris, and a soft try there for Salford to let him from dummy half, from a player who's never played dummy half in his life.
Well, you're right, it was in one sense. The Leeds have been putting Salford under enormous pressure. It's wave of attack. Salford defending so well to keep them out. And yes, we'll feel a little bit unfortunate that they should concede in that manner, having done so much on defensively. But Leeds have been threatening that for some time now, and Salford can just not help themselves in that previous play, conceding the scrum after the knock-on, and Leeds have taken full advantage and go into the lead. 12 points to 10 with a conversion to come. And probably on balance, that was a reasonable reflection of the play so far. Salford contributing much, particularly defensively. Scored 2 good tries themselves, but Leeds have scored 3.
The ball's blown down again, which won't have done Iestyn Harris' confidence any good, but I think if this game was to stay like this at half-time, I think it would be a fair reflection of how the first half has gone. The Leeds have looked the more likely to make inroads, although Salford have capitalised on some Leeds mistakes. Well, Jimmy Matthews on for Leeds for Martin Masella, and Masella's had a big game. And Harris converts this one successfully. That's his first of the afternoon. So 14 points to 10 then, Leeds in the lead. And Iestyn Harris it is who's converted the try. Graham Allroyd gets the game restarted.
This time it's Savilio with the first attack for Salford to the 20. 3 minutes to half-time. Important period of this game. Only 4 points separating the teams. Leeds fans wanting a forward pass there. Referee not seeing it like that. So Cliff Eccles tries to make ground up the middle. Forber looking to do the same, but finding it so difficult that Leeds tackling is now at that same pitch that we saw in the first part of the game. So it's Peter Edwards with the kick, which Peter Sterling just lets roll into touch, with the reasonable knowledge that Leeds will have possession from the scrum. 38 minutes of the first half.
And interesting, only 3 scrums in this first half, all head and ball to Leeds. And shows you the quality of the play and how fast it is now. Holroyd finds Richie Blackmore. Penalties, 4-3 to Salford, and 3-0 scrums to the Rhinos. Holroyd looks to get that ball back to Farrell, and Leeds looking to use the big forwards to drive forward. McDermott straightening up as he runs crossfield on the angle and coming back. Leeds struggling to make any progress whatsoever. Matthews' first touch of the ball makes a good 7 or 8 metres, and I think Leeds will be happy to play out time in this way if they can. Just losing it. Harris now steps, goes himself. He'll look to take the tackle, and then the kick will come on the last tackle, which is now from Holroyd. On a chip over there, that's for Morley to chase. And for Gibson, oh, what a great defence there on Damien Gibson. And he felt that one. Great defence there from Ian Watson and Gary Broadbent.
Yeah, but what a well-conceived kick that was. He thought about that one because the supporters, the chasers were chasing at speed as the ball was being kicked into the open space. And in fact, it was great credit to that Salford defence yet again that they were alert to it and recovered very, very quickly and made the tackle count. Well, a pass from David Hume that Cliff Eccles wasn't really ready for. And Salford just at this moment, another big hit on Savilio. Salford just at the moment just struggling to find some cohesion, and David Hume knocking on, an indication that Salford just not quite got it together over these last few minutes.
I think the tries knocked a bit of stuffing out of them, and the injury to Scott Naylor and Andy Platt going off has just unsettled the rhythm at the moment. But Leeds won't have too many chances now in this first half. They'll be looking to see if they can make something from this scrum. And Harris has stood off the scrum this time and can't be tackled. very much so. And reminds me a lot when he runs across the field of Ellery Hanley, always just so far away from you. Harris again now with the ball in his hands, finds Allroyd, looking to pass it around for Blackmore on that far side. Blackmore gets the ball away to Cummins steps inside. Oh, and he's just stepped in touch, Francis Cummins there as he went inside. How unfortunate from the Leeds point of view, because that was a tremendously worked move there. In fact, the touch judge just put his flag up, and I think he's saying that someone went in touch. Francis Cummins, well, he certainly didn't look to go in touch to me, but
so I didn't see that as going in touch at all. So whatever the touch judge saw, we have to say thank you very much to the touch judge from the Salford point of view, because to concede a try 42 minutes into the first half really could have been a killer blow. As it is, Salford a let off for them. Fatasini needing 4 men to bring him down, but a well-worked try that wasn't for the Leeds Rhinos, as they've been doing all this game. They've been moving that ball and creating space, and Yestin Harris just so difficult to put down, get a hold of, and he's in and out of tackles, and that is going to be something that the referee says something that all tempers a little bit frayed after that tackle, which is hardly surprising. Well, if it was a spear tackle, it's a dismissal. It wasn't a spear tackle. Didn't put his legs right, didn't put his legs between his head between his legs. But there are such strong men out there these days, they can all lift each other if they wanted to at any time. So the referee just slowing things down, calming things down into, well, he was just saying whatever he was saying. It was a dangerous tackle as we get to the 43rd minute of the first half. And Salford in their own half, and Steve Blakely against the wind, and that may be a factor in this second half, how good the Salford can take advantage of the wind, which should be in its favour. It should be in their favour if it carries on blowing in this direction. Marlowe, good foraging run from him. Right on the stroke of an absolutely first-class half, yet again, of Super League, Rugby League. 3 tries to the Rhinos, 2 to the Salford Reds, but 40 tough, competitive minutes, and anybody's game.
Yes, tremendous play. Leeds open the scoring with Paul Sterling's first try in 2 minutes. Replies through Watson and Forber with 1 conversion from Blakely. And Salford led 10-4. And Leeds got it back to 10-8 when Sterling had his second try after a crossfield kick from Harris. And then Harris had a try from dummy half, which he converted himself to make it 14-10. And Leeds, 2 tries disallowed. 1 from a crossfield kick and 1 very dubious there, saying Francis Cummins had run into touch. Leeds 14, Salford 10. Well, Steve Blakely about to get the second half underway. The entertainment finished for the half. And 40 minutes all on anybody's game. 14-10 to the Rhinos. And the Reds just looking to get the game restarted. It'll be interesting to see what effect the wind does have in this second half. It was certainly very strong eye up. It doesn't look too strong on the ground, but it looks very strong. It was catching the kicks to Leeds. And Blakely's kick-off is fielded by Harris, and Farrell will run up, and if he gets to the 20 metres, that's good driving. It does indeed. That's good driving from Farrell. Collins is in at dummy half, and Collins will find Mercer now, and man David Hume, who came in for some raucous tackling from Leeds. He wouldn't really want it any other way. Seems to have fully recovered. McDermott just towing forward, and he's lost the ball, trying to get the ball away in a silly position there. Surrendered possession, and Salford now will come back quickly.
Yes, so a welcome opportunity for Salford right at the start of this second half. With Farmarlow trying to make ground to the Leeds 20, and a score for Salford now really would set this game alight. Eccles charging forward, making it only 10 metres now, Salford, from the Leeds Rhinos line. So it's going right. Blakely's there. Leeds defence coming up quickly. Salford's runners are there. Oh, Martin does well to hang on to it, gets his pass on to Sini. Sini comes inside, gets a pass on to Savilio, but that Leeds Rhinos defence so good in getting across there, but nonetheless Salford stretching them. Now it's coming this way this time. Watson with a little kick through again, but that time the kick running too far, and maybe that kick was just a little bit too early in the plays. Ball forward, puts his hand up and said, all right, Ian, you did it once and it was successful, but you can't do it every time, particularly when I think there's still a couple more plays to go, so Leeds have the chance to regroup on their own 20.
Yes, both sides have been guilty of kicking early in the tackle count for no avail. Graham Mulroy did it for Leeds. Mercer now looking to loop round. Sucks 3 men in though, makes another 5-6 metres before he's brought down, and Cliff Eccles, as Mercer was ankle tapped there, just put his arms on his shoulder, says, your tackle mate, don't bother getting up. Matthew taking play up towards halfway. Collins goes himself from dummy half. So Leeds will certainly play out this set of 6, I think, in the forwards, and look to kick downfield to keep the Salford pen down here up that they can make a mistake. Now it's all right, we'll put Boots a ball. Just picks up the gap lovely there, sends the fullback Gary Broadbent back, and Broadbent can bring the ball out, and Leeds will be wanting a mistake from Broadbent now, or from certainly early in the play.
Yeah, Broadbent make absolutely certain of that one, but it's Leeds open this second half in the way they finished the first, looking slightly the brighter team. Salford bunched in the middle, leaving it to the one-man surges that certainly was successful from Rodgers that time, making ground. David Hume, again, great run from him before being put down, but David Hume was on his own, and the game is a support game. Rodgers looking, Watson looking for his runners. Farmarlow got the ball but couldn't release it, had to hang on to it. Great clamping from Barry McDermott. Blakely's in the line, long one to Watson again. Nice pass on to McAvoy, but the pass brought back for a forward pass. Ball just drifting forward, and if that's an indication of the strength of the wind, it nevertheless was good searching pass from Ian Watson, I think it was. But for all that, possession will presumably go to Leeds from the scrum.
Yes, first half scrums, 4-3. The penalties at 4-1. The first half penalties, 4-3 to Salford, 4-1. Scrums to the Rhinos. Harris then dictating play. Finds Morley down the middle of the field. Gets out of a couple of tackles, including the one of Broadbent, but Broadbent did enough to bring him down. Harris now just to put the hammer down there. Good defence though from Nathan McAvoy. Good to see youngsters like McAvoy, Holroyd, Hassania making their way in the game. And Leeds making progress now up to that 20 metres before they brought down, and now it's Harris's turn to run at the defence. Looks to twist and turn in the tackle. He can't get the ball away up to the last tackle now. Will Holroyd go for the drop goal? He's got options to his left. That's where Leeds will be going. Runs a long ball out there to McDermott. Great defence. The referee says he was tackled. And that'll be the turnover.
Yep. So good defence from Salford, because Leeds were certainly looking sharp in that 6, but Salford doing just enough defensively to hang on to them and prevent a score. 4 minutes into the second half, Salford now coming forward. Edwards to Farmarlow, straightening up. Good surge from Farmarlow, certainly contributing significantly to this Salford effort. Not just today, but in recent games. And the referee bringing that one back. And so the game just going against Salford at the moment in terms of what's actually happened on the field there, not in the score, but certainly giving Leeds another opportunity for possession when they couldn't perhaps have expected it.
Yes, he lost the ball, Forber, as he was getting up to play it. There was certainly no suspicion that it was knocked out. There was only one man in at the tackle anyway, but Forber certainly lost the football. It went behind him, but the referee says he'd shouted held. And so the ball rolling backwards, and Leeds get the head and ball at the scrum. Player injured is Assini Marlow, and let's hope that it's nothing serious for Assini. As I said earlier, he's had his fair share of bad luck with injuries when he was at Leeds, but always a great team man, very popular with his teammates, Assini. And I know that everyone that Teddy was gutted when Assini had to have the serious eye operation. Great that he's recovered, and great that he's recovered now to take his place in the Salford Reds front row. Harris finds Blackmore. Blackmore steps inside and gives the ball to Rodgers, and Rodgers is away for an interception. Has he got the legs? And McAvoy's in for the try. Well, what a poor pass from Blackmore. And that's cost Leeds really dear there.
Oh, what a great opportunist try though for Salford that was. Darren Rodgers snapped up the interception. He headed for the line, but that Leeds Rhinos cover was brilliant because he couldn't do it on his own because they were coming across so quickly. He cut inside, then back outside, and then in support, Nathan McAvoy had to make as much ground as Darren Rodgers, and in support to take a pass that Rodgers struggled to make, but he got it just right in the end. McAvoy was there in support, and even then there was pressure from the Rhinos defence, but McAvoy held it off and scored a try for Salford, which levels the score at 14-14 with this wind swirling about. But 14-0, and that's how it remains.
So Leeds paying dearly for that mistake, and in the most appropriate manner, a try. And it was only the Leeds cover coming across that forced a try wide enough out for Blakely to miss the conversion. Great defence from Sterling and Gibson from Leeds, but really it was a poor pass from Blackmore that a pass under pressure when really it was the first tackle. But the Leeds supporters will do nothing if not get behind their team, and that's what they're trying to do now. So Salford get the game restarted, and it goes downfield for Iestyn Harris, who takes it on the full, and Faddle again will run up towards the 20. And does exactly that. Runs up to the 20 metres, gets over it. David Hume's in at the tackle, who else? And Hume in with a double as well there. Great play from Salford, and now they're fired up. And now we've really got a game on our hands. McDermott. It's back to his feet now. Matthew on again. So Leeds using the forwards, driving forward. Poor tackle there from Savelio. Let Matthew up to halfway before he was brought down. Leeds have had 4 tackles. Still struggling. Don't forget, Leeds have also had a good try disallowed. Blackmore again. Will he try anything this time? This time he just throws the dummy, and Rodgers doesn't buy any of that. Rodgers, of course, from Wakefield area, played with Dewsbury. And Allroyd's kick finds touch. Now Rodgers, cousin of Nigel Wright at Wakefield, and I'm sure that he's another one looking to make his way in the game.
Well, Blackmore looks as though he got a bit of a knock, a bit of a twist, but wanting to run it off. And the Salford fans indicating their support, and Rodgers coming in from the wing to try and create another attack for Salford. And Broadbent coming up from full-back. Savelio making more ground forward, but that Leeds defence as tight and as sharp as ever. Now Leeds short on this side. Fine Marlow, all thumping run from him. Big hit on him from Barry McDermott, but shrugs it off. David Hume, nice pass on to Hume. Martin picks it up. Sini makes it his. Everybody moves out of his way on the Salford side. Tries to come through, ducks under. Well, it looked good. Didn't make much ground forward. But now there's a chance for Salford over this side. Eccles drives the ball forward. But the Leeds defence. Forber tries to make room for himself. Can't. Swinging arm there. Referee Mr. Campbell says that was all right. Blakely in the line, Watson's there. David Hume goes inside but can't escape the tackle. Referee still keeps his hand down, and so the referee is letting play go on. Little kick from Blakely, and another kick from Blakely, another kick from him, not that time, but well picked up by Damien Gibson, and immediately Leeds on the attack.
Yes, Leeds were lucky there, because a Leeds hand had got in at the one of the players. The referee wiped the tackle count clean. It's very difficult nowadays to defend against something like 10, 11 tackles on the trot, so Leeds did well there. The kick coming through and kicked on again just a little bit too far, but Mercer pushes off Blakely, pushes off Forber and still makes progress. Running across, looks now to send out a pass for Faddle. Faddle again knocking off men. Leeds certainly doing their share, and that's gone back to Mercer again, and Mercer will take it forward again. This time he has to take the tackle, and the Salford players, Salford crowd cheering. And Leeds got a penalty for some reason or other. And I think Gary Mercer, old man in the referee a little bit there, and that won't please David Hume, whose reputation preceded him somewhat there. And McDermott driving from that 10 metres from where the scrum was, makes only 2 metres as he's knocked back. That's good defence from David Hume and Salivio. Matthew, that's better play from Leeds, taking play now. Leeds could do with a try and a goal, and they could do one fairly quickly. Morley. Let's play up to the 20 metres, so Leeds now it's time to spin the ball out. Harrison taking the short side. McDermott just powering forward. That's play 10 metres from the line. Now Harrison Holroyd looking to be involved in the play. Morley's a dummy runner. Collins' pass finds Holroyd. Holroyd to Harris. But Leeds have stood still as they get the ball. Blackmore now looking to take play through. Just had the ball in his hand there. He couldn't get it away. Good defence from Blakely. Harris again. Puts a little crossfield kick. That's to hit the post and bounce back. And really no Leeds player chased that, or there was a try on there, Steve.
Well, yeah, it was the flight of the ball was just to perfection. The post coming to Salford's rescue, but having said that, it was Gary Broadbent who was alert to it hitting the post and hang on to it. Oh, Cassini, that's what the fans love. Down and open, always going forward to the try line. And the same for this guy, Cassini Marlow. Good play from Salford again, keeping the line intact. Forber comes back this way, gets a pass on to Peter Edwards. Sevilio's out there, holds the ball up, can't shrug off the fearsome tackling from Leeds Rhinos. Adrian Morley, one of them. Peter Edwards trying to make a little surge up the middle. Blakely takes the ball, but again unable to get into any sort of stride before he's brought down. David Hume tries to do the same, and we're on the halfway line, but it's the 6th tackle. Watson's going forward with a kick, which finds a good touch for Salford. And whilst the Rhinos seem to be able to contain Salford inside their own half, in fact the kicks made some good ground for Salford on the 20.
Very impressed with Fatasini. I remember very early in his career he came to Headingley and was completely upstaged by Jim Fallon, who scored 4 tries against him in the first half. And since then the improvement in Fatasini has been tremendous. One of the form players in the competition, and certainly for Salford. Oh, and Phyllis hands away now. Has he got the legs to go? That's a tremendous move. I don't think anyone will catch Phyllis. He's going under the post and led to the field try, and that's pulled the game out of the bag for Leeds. Lovely move from the base of the scrum there from Leeds. And really, the Salford defence line very flat, and I can never understand why, when it's the other side's head and ball, that all the full-backs nowadays stand in the line, Steve.
No, it's been the routine for some seasons now that they do that, and so it only needs one of the players in possession to break the tackle, and there's a clear run for the line. And Hassan did that to absolute perfection. But not only that, he had the pace to go, well, 3/4 of the length of the field. And in the end, it was a great run chase. No one of the Salford players made any headway at catching him up at all. Under the post, unopposed, and 55 minutes gone. 18 points to 14 for the Leeds Rhinos. And it will be interesting to see whether Salford can find some extra depths of reserves to come back into this one now. With the conversion successful, 20 points to 14. So 2 changes on the Leeds side. We'll catch up with that in a minute. Sheridan certainly on, I think, for Collins. So we don't often see tries like that these days, where there's a clear leg race for that length of the field. But Hassan made the break and had the pace and scored a good try for Leeds, putting all the pressure now on Salford, as Eccles does so well to recover that ball. 20 points to 14 for Leeds, and Salford with it all to do, as they say. And nobody will do it all more than that man, Paul Forber. And that one, Senior Fi Marlowe, proving so difficult to put down. But again, on the 6, Salford still on the halfway line, so the kick again will come from Watson, which will this time be taken.
By Francis Cummins, and he's running across the field, looks for a way forward now. Spins out of McAvoy's tackle, but into the one of Cliff Eccles. And Martin Masella's returned for Barry McDermott for Leeds. There's Leeds spelling the players at the moment. And Mercer's had a big game this afternoon for the Rhinos, a tremendous game. And bumping out of men, and David Hume just knocks him down. And ever the professional Hume, just making sure, in fact, Mercer, I think, twisted his ankle, is it, in that run? And Holroyd buzzing, looking for drop off there, drops off again for Hassan. If Hassan gets away, he's got the legs, we've already seen that. Sheridan's in at dummy half this time, finds Masella. Masella has to go through. Oh, good defence, and twisting him there as he looked to put the ball on the inside for Sheridan, who was in support. Harris again, looking to run there with Holroyd. Holroyd stepping, can't get the ball away, twisting, trying to get out of the tackle. The cover came up quickly then and knocked him down, went up to the last tackle. Now what will Harris do? He's certainly got the football in his hands. In fact, he hasn't, because Leeds have a poor man there at dummy half. Sterling again coming down this side, he's got the ball, he's got... And a forward pass there, in fact. Well, Leeds really should have ought to have passed the ball inside. They've certainly spurned some chances, Leeds, this afternoon. That's given a turnover there.
Yeah, it's a surprising decision, because it perhaps should have been, anyway, a scrum or something. But great defence from Salford, because on the 6th tackle, Leeds looked as though nobody wanted the ball. But when they got hold of possession, they found an opening on the right-hand side, and it was great defence from Salford to prevent what seemed at one time in the move a certain try. So Salford still hanging on. But all these tackling that they have to do, making it more and more difficult for them to get out of their own half. Much of this second half has been inside Salford territory. Salford nonetheless have scored 1 try with their only real attack in this half. So Blakely comes in for the kick early, but whilst it's running and running, Cummings has it covered and makes it his.
Yes, and saw the wind took that ball right up there, and Leeds right back on their own line now after being right up on the Salford line. That's end-to-end. It's been a tremendous end-to-end battle this afternoon. We're coming up to the final quarter of this game. There's 59 minutes now. Sterling's looking for a way through. And now it's Mercer, who's had a big game this afternoon for the Rhinos again. And flop there could have been adjudged from Blakely. Referee's let it go. Matthew. And Blakely certainly working hard in the tackling stakes. All right now, looks to move the ball out to Harris. Harris drops off inside for Morley. Is there a gap for Morley? Morley's back for Sheridan, and there'll be a gap for Sheridan if he can make it. Masella. But Leeds are making a lot of passing for not a lot of ground there. And that chip over into space there this time doesn't come off, and Broadbent runs it back for Salford Reds.
Oh, that was another one of those special kicks from Leeds, but David Hume read it so well and was covering it all the time and giving possession to Broadbent. Salford having a chance in the Leeds half to get themselves back into this game. They've got men over this side, but they don't use it. Goes back to Fi Marlowe instead, gets his pass on to Forber. So Forber can go forward onto the Leeds 20. Now, can Salford create an opening? Watson, David Hume to Rogers, but Rogers well wrapped up, 2 tacklers putting him down quite comprehensively. Blakely's there. So simple ball back inside. Andy Platt, who's come back on. Ian Watson said, oh, well, dummy not bought, and Morley puts him down. Two mates, as you can tell. Little kick through. Salford recover. Still it's the handover. And Leeds with the better of that 6 in defence.
Yes, and the grubber kick, I think, from Blakely went absolutely nowhere. He just hit the Leeds player on the foot. The Salford fans are screaming for it to be 6 more, but that's not the rules nowadays. You have to make a genuine play at the ball, and the ball just stayed still on the floor. Sterling spots a gap, goes from dummy half, but not very far. McAvoy knocks him down. The Leeds have 3 or 4 physiotherapists on at the moment. Rudy Mayer, Roy Adams, the kit man, and Seamus McCallie, and all involved in for something or other. Holroyd now looks to go himself. Slipped though as he tried to dummy his way through. Was no good giving the ball to Harris because Harris was well wrapped up. Sheridan this time gives the ball to Harris. Harris brings Morley on the burst. And Morley's not even up to halfway, so Salford have tackled really well in this set of 6. Harris again puts a long kick downfield. Broadbent has to chase. In fact, it bounces awkwardly for him and leads it up quickly.
Oh, great step from Broadbent. Difficult ball for him to take. Not under pressure, but he made it safely his. And Scott Martin still going with determination. Great surging run from him. And that's what Salford need to lift the players, to see if they can find that elusive score. David Hume still looking to release the ball. And Andy Platt looks as though he's on for Cliff Eccles, who presumably has had some sort of knock, so Salford bringing the changes. Reverse pass, and Faimalo knocks one off. And a second. Oh, great play from Faimalo. What a game he's having. As Sini goes forward and gets his pass on, the referee says that's all right. Blakely looked as though he was going to pass it. Perhaps he should have, because by the time he thought of holding on to it, the Leeds cover was up quickly. Now he's coming along the line. Forber's there. Broadbent's running inside. Forber hangs on, has to hang on, and the tackle made somebody from the Salford side. McAvoy flattened off the ball, counts for nothing. Oh, a little kick again, but that time it picked up comfortably by Leeds, and all of a sudden there's a chance for Leeds if that tackle isn't complete, and it is now.
And hanging on to grim death for the shirt there was Peter Edwards, because if Gibson had gone away there, it was a try all the way. There was no one back for Salford to check him. But what great game we've seen here this afternoon. End-to-end stuff. Masella brings the ball back for Leeds now. And Sheridan from dummy half, looking to use his pace for, but it is who brings him down. But Leeds are in the Salford half of the field with that so far. Harris, Mercer. A knock on from Blackmore there.
Well, that ball was released backwards, we thought, up here, but the referee giving the crowd the benefit of the doubt. Another change on the Salford side. They're waiting to bring Craig Randall on. So Salford having to make the changes to try and find something that will unlock this Rhinos defence just one more time. Because at the moment they're still trailing 20-14. Nice little inside pass. And this time it's the Leeds fans who make the decision. So Salford fans has made it over this side. Leeds fans over that side. And that probably was no more a forward pass than the other decision was a knock on. But the decision going Leeds' way. And it's for Paul Forber, who will receive a great warm round of applause from the Salford fans as Craig Randall takes his place, and Salford really look to do something now to keep Leeds out, because if Leeds were to score in the next few minutes, that probably would make the game safe for them. As it is, with the score as it is, Salford still have a chance.
Mercer just brings that ball away from the scrum. And now it's Faddle's turn to drive forward, gets a good ball out to Morley. Morley running out wide inside for Sheridan. And Jamie Matthew in again at dummy half there, and Harris looks to go himself. Great defender from Blakely. Gets the ball back to Holroyd. Blackmore knocked down right in front of us, just staying out of touch. Sterling has a run himself from dummy half, and that's the right thing to do at this stage of the game. It eats up the tackles and it eats up the time. Matthew just running forward, runs straight at David Hume. Up to the last tackle now, so will Leeds go for the drop goal? It's back to Holroyd. All the time in the world, Holroyd. Is it through? That's successful, so Leeds take a 21 points to 14 lead. And sensible play there from Graham Holroyd. That means Salford have now to score twice to get anything out of this game. And Holroyd given an eternity there when it was obvious the drop goal was on.
Yeah, I thought that, and maybe that's an indication that there's just a little bit of fatigue setting in into the Salford play, which perhaps isn't too surprising because they've been under a lot of pressure, had to do a lot of tackles in this game against the Rhinos team that really is playing very, very well. But yes, you're right, it seemed as though time stood still for a moment. So Watson takes responsibility for picking that one up, and Craig Randall takes responsibility for making it almost to the 20. And this is a difficult period for Salford because that 1 point just means that the chance of getting back into this game is just that slightly more difficult, and so they've got to pick themselves up without the evidence of much vocal support from their fans at the moment, who are strangely quiet at a time when you would hope that perhaps they could get some noise behind the efforts of the teams, their team, like that from Andy Platt. And Salford made it into the Leeds half with this 6. Goes to Watson. Nice long pass out to McAvoy, who steps inside, but again the pass brought back for forward. So it's a handover, and Salford need to get back into defensive position quickly.
Yes, and Leeds start a period. This is the first of 3 away games in succession for Leeds over the next 3 weekends as the cricket takes precedence at Headingley, away at Oldham and away at Castleford. And if they can certainly win this one, then that'll be a good start for them on the travels. This one, I think that Leeds would have looked upon as the most difficult of the 3. You can never tell as the weeks progress, but certainly Salford coming here was never going to be easy. Harris then. All right. This time it's for Morley. That's good play. Morley's burst through and he's got Sheridan with him now. And Sheridan has got the legs to scamper over, and that'll be the winning try for Leeds. Lovely play from Holroyd. Lovely play from Morley, and Sheridan over. And probably, Steve, I think that will put the game beyond doubt now.
Yeah, I think you're right. Salford heads just went down a little bit, I think, when the drop goal went over. But if we look at it again, the question is whether that last pass to the scorer, to Ryan Sheridan, was in fact a bit forward. In fact, it was probably slightly more forward than some that we've seen given against us. But the way it goes, it's a try that will perhaps clinch the victory for Leeds in this game. And if it does, it will bring to the end a great run of success for Salford down here at the Willows. 15 months undefeated since they were beaten by St Helens in last season's trophy. A period of success that Salford have enjoyed down here that goes back a long, long time since we've had anything to match it. But that was good attacking rugby from Leeds Rhinos, and at the end they just had too many men in support with the pace to go over and score. Holroyd with the kick this time. Interestingly, we're not seeing too much of Yestin Harris this second half. Dominant in the first half. Oh, and that's going in. Oh, he was Holroyd, yeah. But I'm right, am I? I mean, he had a very dominant first half, and yet. So how do you explain that? Why?
I think Leeds have changed the tactics in this half and just taken the big men up forward and driven on. And I think that Holroyd's come more into prominent play in this second half. I think it's interesting to note that Holroyd's gone to second receiver as opposed to Harris in this half, and Holroyd's had a more dominant game.
But ain't nice, hey, when you've got a man like Yestin Harris, we're saying, has not been the dominant player. Craig Randall still going forward, and Holroyd steps into that position. 27-14. Savilio, nice inside break from him. Still going forward, but now put down. And this has got to be the time when Andy Platt going back for a second go for the 6. Watson, little kick over into space. And Salford players getting in each other's way. Rogers makes the tackle.
Look like they're running to each other there. the two players. And the crowd not happy with it, but told me you don't have to get out of the way. And Rodgers just in at the tackle on Allroyd as he looked to offload to the supporting Morley. We've seen that work already. So Sheridan now bringing one man off the ruck stuff as Leeds look to, I'm sure they'll look to play out time. Well, there's 9 minutes left yet, but Leeds won't be looking to do anything stupid to give Salford even a sniff. Just, again, switching the angles, running the angles well there, Gary Mercer. Sheridan at dummy half will look to decide which way he's going to move this football. He moves it to the right, to his right, to Yasin Harris, who immediately brings it back in the ruck area. Puts Allroyd stepping, looking for a gap, and drops off there to Blackmore, and Blackmore can't go anywhere. Blackmore plays a football, and that's that man David Hume who's interfering with play. That's still the last tackle, says the referee. Said that. And back to Harris, and Harris hoists up the bomb, and that's a high bomb, and it's spinning now. Anything could happen here.
So everybody knew that was the last one, and Salford was just letting Leeds have it so that they could make the decisive tackle, and fortunately they were able to do that. So Salford can bring it forward again without, just at the moment, necessarily the sort of conviction that we've seen at certain times from them. David Hume, though, immediately belying what I said, and Blakely steps, that was made a forward pass inside, not given that time by the referee, but Leeds up so quickly. Watson looks like he recovered. His runners are there, and there's one of them. That's McAvoy, who comes back inside, but still can't score because of that brilliant Leeds defence. But Salford so close, held up just before the line. Fabulous pass, but great defence. McAvoy somehow not quite fulfilling this season.
Yes, well, you've seen a lot of him, Steve. He certainly had only the full-back to beat there, and Damien Gibson held him up very well. Yeah. But a great prospect for the future. I think sometimes you find with youngsters that's what happens. They have to go backwards to come forward again.
And it is for a Super League season as well.
Yes, but I don't think there's any doubt that Nathan McAvoy is going to be a star of the future. And Leeds bringing the ball away through Blackmore before Hume intervenes. .73 minutes gone, so 7 minutes to go. Terry Newton's in at dummy half. Oh, big defence there from Andy Platt. Terry Newton will certainly know he's been tackled when Andy Platt's hit him. Holroyd looks to just measured up his kick downfield, splits the defence. In fact, it sits up well for Brabant in the end. The wind just holding it up. And Brabant away to Fadasini.
And all of a sudden, Sini's at pace, in space, and many support, and that's Randall who's there. Oh, great open, and the ball still released from Craig Randall. Great play from Salford. Looking, knowing that this is a last chance to do something if they're going to get back into this game. Savilio going forward, still releases the ball, but again, Peter Edwards in support, can't find a passing route. Andy Platt's there. Stay on his feet. Right, now can Salford do something, give us last gasp hope. Long pass out to Martin. Martin hangs on. Oh, but passes on to Rodgers, but intercepted, and Sterling recovers for Leeds. And that might be Salford's last chance of getting back into this game with a prospect of drawing or something.
So Alice puts Hassan away, and Hassan's away. What great pace from Phil Hassan. He's left Gary Brobert for dead. That's going to be the try of the season for Leeds. What an absolute marvellous try. And what pace Phil Hassan showed there to see that. Man of the match by far this afternoon, Phil Hassan. Two super long range tries. What a super one. Took Gary Brobert on the outside and left him for dead. What a great time from Phil Hassan, and what lovely play from Leeds right from their own line.
Yeah, brilliant. That's the part of it, isn't it? It was from inside their own 20-metre line that they got that ball. Went along the line, and Hassan, great pace, great eye for the space, went through it, the Salford tacklers, well, just perhaps running out of steam a little bit now, not able to put him down. And with Gary Broadbent, he chose to go on his outside. Broadbent couldn't touch him, and Hassan raced away right to close to those posts to make this game absolutely certainly safe for Leeds at 31-14.
Yes, and Harris will resume the kicking duties now. It's from the right side of the post as far as he's concerned. 6 tries to Leeds. Harris converts successfully. So it's Leeds 31-33, Salford 14. So a good try from Leeds. They really left everyone for dead, Phil Hassan. What a tremendous pace he showed to leave everyone on the Salford side for dead.
Yep, and still 4 minutes to go, and with Leeds demonstrating that pace, that there is the risk that they might have the chance to score more. Salford just going to struggle to find any sort of open ground at all, because the pace that Leeds have got, that they've shown on attack, they've also got in abundance on defence, and making it very difficult for Salford to find any room at all. For all that, Salford have scored 3 tries. Nice little inside pass to Craig Randall. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how well Salford are going to pick themselves up for their next game, because this is the first real defeat that they've had, and it'll hurt that it's at home. They've lost other games this season, but this is respectfully going and running. But again, the ball goes for Leeds, and there's a chance all of a sudden for another try.
Yes, Ryan Sheridan gets Mercer away now. Mercer puts the ball out to Sterling. He puts it down, though. It's a little bit too eager there. Leeds trying to entertain late on in the game, and I think when you're winning by 33 points to 14 with 3 minutes left, you can try and entertain the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely right. So the question is, will Salford be able to get their heads round next week's game away to Castleford, having suffered this defeat, this reversal today? Nice little bit of interplay, but for all that, Leeds just watched it happen and then made the tackle at the end of it. Broadbent to Sini, pushes the tacklers off. But Leeds, well, put him down. Now can Salford finish with a flourish? The sun goes in. Watson tries to use his runners to get Savilio away. This time goes on his own. Tackled on the 20. Now, and Salford getting the penalty for interference. Nice little inside pass. Salford man of the match, Fatasini, and I don't think anybody would doubt that one today. So Peter Edwards goes off on a little run, but can't escape the clutches of those Leeds tacklers. Blakely seems to be taking for age to make his passes these days. And there's Nathan McAvoy looking for his second try, so close. Leeds penalised, and so Salford have the chance for another 6. But still, with all this possession, can they do something? Hume onto Broadbent. Broadbent, though, can't escape his tacklers, and Leeds defending even now as if their life depends on it. But there it is. There's the try that will lift Salford's spirits right at the end of the game. And no one could doubt that if Fatasini wasn't the man of the match, he is now, for that little bit of extra determination right at the very death to add a little bit of respectability to the score.
He's used all his strength there. He's looked a good player this afternoon. I personally would have given the man of the match to Assini Faimala, but then I'm biased. Well, 33 points to 18. The 80 minutes are up on the clock. And Leeds have come here looking for the victory and got one, and Dean Bell will be absolutely delighted. Berkeley's goal is successful. And that's 33 points to 20 then. There goes the Hooder, so tremendous victory here from the Leeds Rhinos. And their fans applaud them to the echo as they leave the field. It's been a great performance. Leeds coming here, probably not favourites to win. Salford have had some tremendous games at home this season, but Leeds tipped them all. It was 14-10 to Leeds at half-time, and then a Blackmore pass was intercepted by McAvoy to bring the scores level on 46 minutes. They looked to have a game on, but shouldn't have done, because Leeds scored 3 tries, 2 length of the field efforts, and the last one a particularly special from Phil Hassan. Harris converted one, Holroyd the other, and in between a try from Ryan Sheridan after good work from Holroyd and Morley, and in between that a drop goal from Graham Holroyd just to make it 21-14 and really making the game secure. So it's Leeds 33, Salford 20.